on the existing protocol. Fellow Nigerian students, great Nigerian students, I was once like you. I was an Aluta person as well while I was in school. I was the vice president in NAPS, National Association of Political Science Students. So seeing you all is a thing of joy. Coming back to my alma mater. Just like the MC have said before, I want to appreciate those of you who are putting down something. It is very, very important. For every gathering you go, you should be able to jot down something. You should be able to put down something. That will make you to look at it over and over again, and you make meaningful impact upon it. I've been given a topic to talk on, which is something very, very fundamental to me. I believe that as a student of political science, which I was one before going to the Department of Public Administration to have my second degree and my third degree as well in public administration. Be that as it may, I want to tell you that one of the figures that actually, or the driving force that pushed me to those areas to make exploit was because I was a political science student. And in that order, the topic is political science and career opportunities in a traumatized economy. In a traumatized economy. When someone goes into trauma, will he be able to identify anything? Of course, no. He has lost consciousness and may not be able to understand what is happening. So political science is a course that we must find ourselves very privileged to be here and to be part of the students who are undergoing this program. One of the short story I want to tell you is when I got into political science, the current vice chancellor was our dean as at then. I left here in 2005. She was the dean in faculty, the dean in the Faculty of Social Sciences. I studied business administration at the MD level, and upon coming to this school, my intention was to continue as a business student. But I was given admission as a political science student. So I had all way to say I want to change that course. Reason being that I was also having some pessimistic beliefs, just as some of us who are seated here are having. And I applied for the change of course. And on reaching to the approval of the dean, which is the current VC now, and that was what brought us very close. I got to her office the first day. He asked me to go back and come back the next day. I went again. She asked me to go back and come back the next day again. And in that process, a day came. He said, "Young man, sit down." I sat down. What she said was that, "What are the things am I looking for that I don't want to study political science?" I narrated to her that I believe as a political science student, there are no opportunity out there for me to go and make exploit. And she laughed. And she made so many things. It was an eye-opener to me. And since then, I became in love with the course and put in my best to graduate with a better result. One of the things I know that can limit us is when you graduate with a weak result. What do I mean by weak result? You are graduating with a third class. You are graduating with a pass. Opportunities out there are limited, so it will affect you. So for me, I believe that when you put in more effort, it will help you. What is a traumatized economy? A traumatized economy is one that has suffered significant setback due to systemic challenge and corruption, weak governance, financial crisis, war, environmental disaster, or pandemics. It is characterized by unemployment. And when we talk of unemployment here, we are not talking just to political science students. We are talking about every other career that is there. But for you as a political science student, you have various areas where you can navigate. And these various areas now make you to have an edge over every other person. As a political science student, there are areas where you can cover. The role of political science graduates in the economic recovery is very germane. We must not allow people to take over the job that belongs to political science students. That now make you to have an edge over every other person. As a political science student, there are areas where you can cover. The role of political science graduates in the economic recovery is very germane. We must not allow people to take over the job that belongs to political science students. We are the ones who have given them space. For instance, today, the chief of staff to Omala local government chairman is not a political scientist. You can see it's because some of us who are political science students don't go into these adventures to fetch those areas to become ours. You can see today, people who are medical doctors have abandoned going to the hospital to work, to talk to the patients that they have to talk to them. They have gone back to the field of what? Politics. That's to tell you that the course you have chosen will remain one of the best course today, tomorrow, and in years to come, because administration is superb. One, public policy and governance. When we talk about public policy and governance, effective governance is the backbone of economic recovery. As a political scientist, you understand what public policies are all about. You will be able to formulate, implement, and above all, advise and become political analysts, public analysts. Just like Nelson Mandela, the president of South Africa, wisely noted, a good head and a good heart are always formidable combination. A career in governance is an opportunity to combine intelligence with empathy to uplift communities and restore confidence. As a political science student, this is one of the areas you can venture into. Two, you can also venture into international organizations, NGOs. Most of those NGOs that you see come into the system, just like Dr. Mabi has presented before, she made mention of where you begin to do research in areas where you profile solutions. Some of those NGOs are feminine in nature, trying to look what are the issues hindering girl child education in Nigeria, for instance, taking an Igba community, for instance. If as a political science student you have been able to gather information, either through primary or secondary sources, you will be able to present to the public or present to the NGO how those things can be solved. Why would you not be the person to be engaged or recruited in that NGO? You will be recruited. But some of us will see NGOs and you see that you are not qualified or you are not. Most of those adverts that come, they will say any course in social sciences related courses. As a political science student, going for that interview, we should be well equipped with those data and information that will help that organization to grow. And once you do that, you will be granted that opportunity to serve in that organization. Then three, we have private sectors and corporate governance. Private sector, I take myself for an example. I've worked in 3 banks. I've worked in Standard Trust Bank. I've worked in United Bank for Africa. I'm currently working in First Bank of Nigeria Limited as a political scientist. And it's a private sector. Why do they need me? This is my for 15 years in First Bank. I spent about 4 years in UBA. Why do they need me in First Bank? They need me in First Bank because of my political knowledge. In the sense that as a political science student, you gather information, you navigate, you lobby, you create avenues where wealth can be generated. And once you are a valuable player, you are a valuable player, nobody will want to lose you. If you are a political science student and you are not adding value to whatever organization you are being recruited to, then you have to go back and study politics again, because you did not allow the political science you study to pass through you. Challenging economic environments are strategic thinkers who can navigate, regulate complexities, understand economic policies, and engage in effective public relations. Political science graduates can serve as compliance officers. Why do you excel as a compliance officer as a political science student? It's because you already know the do's and don'ts, what you should expect. Who are those who are supposed to actually work in the assembly where laws are being made? Are they not political? Are they not expected to be political science students? So as a political science student who don't even understand what constitutions is all about, you have not started. So as a political science student, you must deepen your knowledge in terms of understanding everything that happens within the society, in your immediate environment, where you live, in your house, in your own house. Without politics, for those of you who will venture into marriage, it will be difficult to manage your home. I tell you for free. But when you have that agility and that ability for country, this is a better place to stay and make a living if you only have a change of mind. As political science students, you have seen various areas where we have to go and key into the system and ensure that things are changed. Nobody will do it for us. We are the ones to do it. And I will be proud to see that your generation or your set are part of those who made it and as well change the scenario in Nigeria, where people will begin to hate our country and like another man's country where they will be deported. You can imagine a situation where you say you are in the US and you are treated like an outcast and they will line you up to tell you you need to go. There's nothing as traumatizing as such. So we must begin to look inward. Today we have refinery in Nigeria built by Dangote. It's a stepping stone in the right direction. So we must think when we go out of here, what can we do to the community where we come from? The journey ahead will be demanding, but with vision, determination, and excellence, success is inevitable. I end it with the word I use, smart. When you are thinking as a political science student, you must be smart. Smart. That acronym, SMART, you must be smart in nature. 1, S stands for specific. Don't carry everything at a time. You don't bundle them. You pick one and you attend to it. Be very specific when you are dealing with issues. Then the M is measurable. Don't set goals that are not measurable. When those goals are not measurable, how do you achieve them? It is difficult. Then you see A, achievable. That takes us to achievable, measurable, achievable. If the goals are not measurable, there's no way you achieve them. The A stands for achievable. Are they achievable? Some of us will set goals that are not achievable. As a political science student, you graduate from school and the next thing you do is to put a business plan that is capital intensive in nature. And you know that you don't have the capital to start with. Why don't you start small and get big? Then R stands for relevant. Is it relevant? Is it important? Is it something that will put bread on the table? Is it something that is okay to be done? Then the T, which is time bound. The last speaker talked about time. If you are not time conscious in whatever thing you do, you end up to fail. And that is the more reason why you must be disciplined in terms of time. Coming to lecture, if they give you lecture time to be 9 o'clock, you should be there at least 10 minutes before the time. At least I've been part of the panel for interviews. One of the things we do is not to even talk much. We just tell them come by 7 o'clock and we don't come there by 7 o'clock. We just allow the gate man to put the register there and monitor as they come. Let them put attendance and put the time they are arriving. Nobody can do anything because there is CCTV. That CCTV capturing you will tell us the time. Even if you doctor it, you will know. Meaning you are not trustworthy to get the job. So when they just come, they look at it and they know those who are time conscious. And you can edge yourself out. And whatever you don't train yourself with, you discover that there is no way you'll be able to meet up with it. That's why some of us will just go there, and at the end of the day, you say you went there and you were not taken. You won't be taken because you are not time conscious. So for whatever thing you are doing, when you put this acronym into there, you discover that you will be able to make it with ease. So let us, as students of political science, be disciplined in terms of time and ensure that we don't work against ourselves. And I want to let us also know that as students of political science, there is no shortcut to success. If you think there's shortcut to success, I will point to you to show me a retired armed robber. Have you seen one? I will also tell you to show me a retired prostitute. Have you seen one? I will also charge you to show me a retired Yahoo boy. Have you seen it? But you have retired professor. You have a retired police officer. You have a retired banker. And you have a retired successful businessman. So it is left for us to take to the path that is very, very key and very relevant. Because if you want to jump the gun, you will die young. And dying young is not the plan of God for us, and it is also not the plan of our parents who have suffered this far to bring us to this level where we are. It is important for us to note that sometimes it is not all that glitter that is gold. You need to take it step by step. Thank you all. Please.